10 years ago, Nigeria won their third Africa Cup of Nations in South Africa. It was in February 10, a night that I still remember so very well because I covered every game of that championship. Stephen Keshi's team went all through, despite the early troubles, they went to the final and defeated Burkina Faso 1-0. And a decade after, what has happened to Nigerian football? I'm asking one of the players in that game, Ogenyi Onazi, who played a big part in that championship. Join me as I speak with Ogenyi Onazi to understand the backstories and the exciting things that happened to him and his career afterwards. Now, Onazi, thank you for taking this time out to speak with me. It has been 10 years, a decade since you and your teammates lifted the AFCON title in Johannesburg. I was in that stadium watching you guys. I remember seeing you as a young player. You were one of the youngest in the team. I remember also you gave me one of your first interviews in the mixed zone in the second game against, was it Zambia? After you got a yellow card and you gave a penalty away. I spoke to you. I think I was the only journalist who was interested in speaking to you, and you're the youngest player in the team, so nobody really knew you. But I was interested, and I wanted to hear your story. And you told me about your frustration with the yellow card and the penalty. 10 years after, you and your team went on to lift that trophy. How did it feel that night? Can you reflect for me how it felt for you?
Well, it's a whole lot of dramas and a whole lot of events unfolding in that tournament. It was full of the tournament. I would say it's a movie because a whole lot happened in that tournament, And if we want to begin to talk about the tournament, I don't think we'll finish today because a whole lot that happened in the tournament. But most importantly is that, consistency and focus led us to that victory of that tournament. Not because we were the most focused team, but we had our own ups and downs. But the most important thing is that whatever problems we had, we kept it out of the pitch. When we get to the pitch, we are one big family, and we have that same goal. And we decided that no one will give us any room for any excuse. And the whole lot of people already wrote us off that this team is just a bunch of useless players. So we had to turn that to make it a fortune for us, and we had to do what we need to do. And the main motivator, the director of this whole episode is our coach, Big Boss. May he so rest in peace. He is really, really, really like a father and a boss himself, because his words are very little, but they are very, very strong. And the night we won that trophy, he was, you cannot expect. In fact, I couldn't even sleep for 2 days. They were with the sleep couple. I couldn't even sleep because I was imagining that how can I win this important trophy? Why would I want to sleep? And that same year was the year I won Coppa Italia against Roma. So it was a year that was really, really packed, filled with a lot of trophies and blessings. So, but for the AFCON that night, my God, it was the best thing you can ever think of, because I was just how a lot of people will have joy in Nigeria, even the ones who are in diaspora, people who are watching the game, how they will feel for over so many years that we have not won this tournament. And we won this tournament with a bunch of people that they said are useless set of players. And we won this tournament.
Let me take you up on this useless quote. Excuse me. It was unprecedented. Keshi dropped Odemwege, Martins, a few other top players in that squad, and then he took 6 guys from the NPFL. There were doubts, but how did this doubt come into the camp? How did you feel it inside the camp? And also, I remember the incident that after you won the title, I was lucky enough not to go to the mix zone. I was at the press conference, and I did a press conference with Big Boss, Stephen Keshi, and Victor Moses. So I was lucky to get those quotes from the press conference. But why I said I was lucky is that the guys who stayed at the mix zone, the journalists, did not get any word out of you guys. You did not speak to the press. So tell me how the spirit in camp, you felt this criticism and then not speaking to the media after the victory.
Okay, so we got a lot of backlash from the media when we were camping at Portugal. So, there was a whole lot there was nothing good, positive, one single positive statement from the media. Everybody was condemning. Some people had to even make analysis one after the other of every player who was there. And in fact, the Big Boss coach, he was really, they sliced him, they feed this, I don't know which word to use. So when he finally decided for the players who are going to the AFCON. In fact, let me just give you an insight about what's happened. I don't think anyone, maybe some people might know about it. Even when he gave his final list, Azubike Egwekwe, the tall defender, Nigerian league defender, he had an illness which is called chickenpox. I don't know if it's the right word. Chickenpox, and this chickenpox is a very chronic one. And when he had that chickenpox, everyone was scared. Even his roommates just flew out of the room. He never wanted to be there. And every single person was scared about that. And he had to keep him in isolation, to stay there, he shouldn't come out and all that. And so many people were saying, since he has this chickenpox, it's a good sign for him to go home, let them bring someone else because of what. And Big Boss said, no, he has taken his decision. One good thing about Big Boss is that he knows the right people to give him the result. He knows how to bring this bunch of people to give him result because he knows how he does his things. Now, when we came to the camp and the journalists, they said we should just go and answer present in South Africa. After first round, then we should come back home. Because we keep on looking at the media, what they are saying. Some people might be strong not to look at the messages. Like somebody like me, if you begin to write a whole lot of things about the media, I would just, even if I see it would just be like, I will see it and it will just pass away. But there are some people that it gets to them. When they see those things, it begins to make them feel so bad. We had some couple of friendly games. It was not that good. It seems like what the media is saying is coming to pass, and we had a lot of issues also in the camp and all that, but we stayed focused until when we got to South Africa. And when we got to South Africa, we played our first game, we drew, played our second game again, we drew. So Nigeria, the journalists, they brought another, they said we are draw soup. We should just play the last one and begin to come back home, So, as God may have it, we played the third game and we won. And before the third game, the second game, when we drew the second game, I remember that we had a big fight in the dressing room. Mikel and I don't know, is it what's that his name? EGK or something. He's a home-based player. And also Joseph Yobo, it was a mix something. Everybody said, why would you miss penalty? Why did you do this one, that one? You are this, you are that. There was a whole lot of fight. And the Big Boss was just sitting down like this. And Amokachi wanted to separate them. He said to the Amokachi, leave them. So we were fighting in the dressing room, everybody shouting. After some minutes, like 30, 40 minutes, everyone was calm. He now said, are you guys done? Nobody answered. He said, are you guys done? He said, all these ones you people are doing here, we are just killing ourselves. The main fight that you will fight is Nigerians that will be waiting for you. When you finally lose, that's when you will see this one will reach your family members. You live in Nigeria. Now, I want you guys to turn this energy. You know how they use the plastic bottles and all that, they turn it to something to manufacture something good. This is what you guys have to do, to turn this energy and put it back to your opponent on the pitch. We have one game that is a must win for us to go to the next one. And then our dreams to win this cup will be a little bit, there will be a little bit green light. So you take your bags, go home, rest, no training tomorrow. I give you guys time to think about what I've said. So we all went home, thought about it. The next game, we came out, we won. And then that's how.
The next game was against the Ivory Coast. They were favorites for the championship. And it was said that the NFF had bought tickets for a return. And did they truly buy tickets? Had they handed out the tickets to you guys, or it was just rumors that it was bought?
It was not handed out for us, but we were contacted. They were asking you, where are you going to? Are you going to Nigeria, or you're going back to the club? So everybody was giving where, in fact, it was really, really embarrassing. You know, not per se, not because they were acting. Of course, they have to make arrangements, you know, ahead, you know. But I was saying, is this how we are going to leave this tournament or what? And we have not played the game. It's not possible. Me personally, I didn't even say anything to the person who was asking. I said, leave my ticket. When the time comes, I will know how to find my way. If I want to swim to Nigeria, I will swim on the ocean or whatsoever. But I had this positiveness and I said, no, it's not possible. We cannot come to this tournament and go out. So why should we just give up when we have not even gone to the pitch yet? So something interesting happened before this match against Ivory Coast, you know. So the big boss had the meeting after our lunch, and when he finished, then Joseph Yobo, the captain, said we should all wait. So when he said we should all wait, I don't know, he's been having this little issue with Mikel. So immediately the coaching staff went out. He just burst on Mikel immediately. Hey, you, and too much again, you know. And your man stood up, Ejide stood up, everyone was trying to calm this one down. It was very hot. That was the day of the match. It was very hot. Everyone now calm down. So the same Yobo now spoke to the team and said, okay, yes, I know I have some issues with Mikel, but that's okay. We have a very important game ahead of us. And I know I'm not starting this game, but you guys that are in there, I believe that you guys will do us proud. Yes, we must have this small 1 or 2 fight and all these things. It's just for us to strengthen us, to show how strong we are as a team, you know. And I am wishing you guys all the best. You guys go out there and prove that we can be able to beat these guys. It's good that we are the underdogs, and it's better for us because we have pressure. We are already written off from our country. We know that we have ticket already to go. So let's prove them wrong. And before we started the game, we got to the pitch. Then Mikel also spoke. He said, guys, yes, we will fight ourselves inside, but let's fight our opponent outside. So we went out. Man, that game was one of the best for me because everything we did on that game worked for us. It's just maybe a little distraction that free kick that they scored that one goal. But apart from that, man, it was something else.
I tell you, it was one of the best games I had seen the Super Eagles play at that time, and in that tournament against the favorites. I was in the stands with Calvin Onwuka seated beside each other, and we were looking at each other like, where did these boys come from? These are not the guys we saw against Burkina Faso, against Zambia, against Ethiopia, you know. against the favorites, Ivory Coast, it was like a demolition. The midfield was so strong that you just kept countering every attempt that that the Ivorians and Drogba had. And you just couldn't believe it. I don't know if I wanted to go back on the game, but after this victory, what happened? You went on to beat against Mali 4-1 in the semi-final in Durban. And from that game, I think we knew the title was coming. Especially since we're not getting Ghana in the final,
No, it was from the Ivory Coast game. Me, personally, after the game of Ivory Coast, I said, there's no chance. The least we'll get here is to become runners-up. But this final, we are going there. Because on that game of Ivory Coast, I remember. So I don't know where the strength came from, the power, the confidence, and all that. I was seeing everybody like enemy in my front. If you are not wearing green, white, green, you are like enemy. So we were moving, I could remember that game, Kenneth Omero, Obabuna, Ife Ambrose, who was on the left side. I don't know if it's Oshaniwa or Elderson.
Elderson was injured.
No, Elderson was Elderson, and then myself, Michael Sondemba, Brown Wide, Victor Moses, and Emin came. Oh my God, it was another thing else. We had Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure, Solomon Kalou, Tiote, Bamba. Name them. The team was too complete. In fact, just looking at the lineup, you're already urinating on your tongue. The African best, everybody were there. My God, I saw how Kenneth was following Drogba. See, Drogba took his money or something. He was all out, as in following me in the middle with Mikel and Sunday back. We are battling with the best. Yaya Toure and the rest, Tiote, and the battle is for the strongest. And we came out in that game, my God. After that game, I said, no chance. We are going to the final. There's nothing stopping us. And after that game, anybody we meet in our front, it was pure wiping, beating straight. That game, next game was at, what's the name? 4-1, we gave them.
Yeah,
it was
Mali.
Mali was too open. It was too... The spirit we had in that team, I think Big Boss doesn't speak so much. The little he speaks. I could remember the other game that he played me at the right back. Before the game, he called me and told me that, Onazi, you are my son. I want you to do me a very big favor. I said, Coach, whatever you want, I am here for you. He said, today, you are going to play as the right fullback. Will you do that for me? I said, with all pleasure, sir. Even if you want me to be goalkeeper, I will do it to my best ability. He said, yes. I want you to help me just cover that place for me. I said, no problem, Coach. Anything you want me to do, as far as it's football, I will do it. And the kind of understanding, it matters a lot with coach and his players. When you rub minds together, you understand what the coach wants you to do. He talks to you. I think every football player, as far as I'm concerned, needs encouragement. Encouragement and opportunity. Because there's no possible that you encourage a player and the player knows that you're encouraging him and you give him that opportunity when he knows that there are other millions of people waiting for such opportunity. He must improve. He must improve and become the best. It's just opportunity that is not always there because you have limited matches and time to play. So if you have those opportunities, definitely you're going to do well.
Amazing. And now to the final against Burkina Faso. We had played Burkina Faso in the first game, in the opening game, group game in Bombela. It was a 1-1 game. And we still, we're having problems settling down. The team had not gelled. The belief was not there. But by the final, after the 4-1 trouncing of Mali, there was hope, but there was going to be we were going to miss Emmanuel Emenike. I remember seeing him on the pitch during your final warm-up the day before the final, and everybody was saying maybe he will play, maybe he will. And we asked him, are you going to be able to play? He said no, because he didn't say. He said maybe not. He sat down, but now I look back and say it was obvious that he was not going to play. He sat down, he didn't train, If he had maybe was running on the other side. But there were now thoughts, with this guy who has scored 5 goals so far in this championship, 4 or 5? And leading scorer of the championship, if we missed him, what would we do in the final? But it's all history now. Sunday Mba came up and scored that goal, and we won the title. You won the title. Run me through this last day and the game.
Well, it was all a big slap on our faces when we knew that Emenike was injured. But notwithstanding, he had other players. Uche had Brown. Brown there is there. We have Ike Uche is there, and who else was also at that moment? I think that was the both of them. So the coach was very, very sad. They pushed so hard to see how they can, but it's a muscle injury, so it's not something we can be able to. Even Emenike was by himself. He was also so sad because he would not play or the final. So it's not a question that you can ask him, can you try or something. He wants to, but he can't. So he tried to encourage the rest people, who are options, telling them that there's nothing there who can do it for us. We are already here in the final. Imagine that we didn't even dream to even be in this position. We already thought that we are going home already. So we are here. Let's make it happen. And then we said to ourselves, yes, we will bring this trophy for him. He's the highest goal scorer at the moment, and then we want to win this trophy for him as well. So Keshi said, we are a team, and so when somebody is out, another person will come in. Just like when Epe Ambrose was not around, Onazi filled his position. So Emenike is not around now, somebody else has to fill his position. So we need to put our heads together. The final wasn't easy. It was 1-0, and was not an easy game because we played them the group stage, and they have a very good team. I could remember this guy Petropa, very slicky kind of player, gave us a lot of problems. But after the final whistle, you could remember there was one footage like that Enyema wanted to take the referee. Oh my God, it was one kind of feelings that I don't even understand how it looks like. But when it became a reality was when we landed in Nigeria, because from air at the airport, when we saw people, the tarmac down, people were filled the airport. Like airport that before you go in there, a lot of security and all that. But we saw people on the ground. Oh my God. That is when I realized that we actually won the trophy.
My question now is, 10 years after, there was a lot of unbelief going for your team that time in the public mind, in the media space. And even after you won the title, there was still comparisons with the 94 team, that this team is just lucky. Do you think that was disrespectful, and seeing that we haven't even reached the finals since 2013?
Very, very big disrespect, because I don't understand how people in their right mind and their right senses would be able to be making such kind of utterances, because winning a trophy is not a too-much game to play. There's a whole lot of stages. From group stage, you go to knockout, go to quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then you get to finals. I don't think any lucky person can be able to scale through from that place. Any right-minded people who wants to win a tournament will say you will just go through that thing and then get to final, just like that. Okay, let's use Argentina as an example. It's a team that are determined. It's almost similar situations like us when we went to these nations. If they tell you that Nigeria will draw 2 games before winning and then start scaling through, you will not believe. If they tell you that Argentina will lose against Saudi Arabia, it's the last thing you ever think of. I believe that the whole world were shocked at that. Now, the team were determined with too much energy and not just scrolling gradually until when they got to the stage. And when it got to the final, it was so obvious. Even they were too confident. They were even leading ahead. It was supposed to be a game that was supposed to finish a long time ago. But the thing began to unfold and all that. So give respect to the people who won 1994 or whatsoever. Give our own respect to us, because it is not an easy thing to do. If it's easy, everybody should go and do it. Okay, now we have been playing now. Look at the current Super Eagles. I think they are even more talented players than the ones we had at that time. But there are some things that doesn't work out. It takes a whole lot. Team, coordination, one spirit, and the right people to be able to achieve this game. Football is not table tennis. That one person, if you win, you know that you are the one who has problem. You lose, if you lose, you know that the one who has problem. You win, you take all glory to yourself. Football is a teamwork. It's a whole lot of people involved in it. Almost 23 players, and then backroom staffs and whatsoever. All of you are almost 40. Everybody has to work together to achieve this aim. So it is not an easy thing to do. So even when we won that tournament, I don't want to mention names, but some of our legends who were there, you could see it on their faces. They were not even happy. It's obvious. It's not like your country won African Cup that you haven't won for how many years. People are celebrating, want to kill themselves. I saw some of them. They were not even smiling, as if something went wrong. So, what are you saying? For me, my name is already there. I've won African Cup. If you like do anything, you cannot remove it from there. And I played, not like I was on the bench. I played almost all the games. So, my name is written there. So, if you have the power and whatsoever, go and do it, and we'll celebrate you. If the next generation goes to win the African Cup again, they should give them the accolade too as well, just as they have given to the 1994, given to us, and we give to them. So it's not something that is like a trick. No, it's well planned events.
How did the victory, winning the African Cup, how did it change your life and your career?
Oh, obviously. From the tournament already, playing the tournament, things are already moving on in your career, changing on its own without you even knowing. Transfer markets, more popularity, we are being known all over the world. Your values are going higher, After the tournament, a whole lot of calls from here, then it should be transfer window. Hey, this club wants you there, this one. A whole lot of things are happening at that moment, Your head is just full, a whole lot of things happening. He actually gave me more respect in my club in Lazio. When I came back, it was a big honor, everybody welcome, King of Africa, So it's giving you more edge and more respect. I think as at that time too, that was around the period that I renewed my contract. I got more money in my contract. I got more years, and so it can never be the same. It can never be the same. Things were just happening. A lot of things were happening at that period. So it's a turning point in my career as well. A whole lot happened at that point, and it was only getting better. It was only getting better after winning the AFCON. And the African Cup was played in a period where that time around January, I think.
Yeah.
So everyone is watching it. It's not like now that there's a whole lot of activities happening in football, so on, that some people will be distracted. That time, everybody were watching it. So it's giving you a whole lot of concentration. And the whole people who wants to watch, I don't know, I will not say all over the world, but people who are around the area and people who are concerned about the African Cup, everybody's watching this. And so it's giving you a whole lot of opportunity to really express yourself, show your quality, show what you can do. And we played in South Africa that had a whole good facility, good stadiums, good people, and the whole Africa was there. It was a very good tournament, and it was really massive.
And when you were quite young, when you went back to Nigeria during holidays, what was different now?
Brother, it was not the same, man. The way you used to walk on the streets like normal human being is not like that anymore. Because as I know, Nigerians are very, very good. When you know that Nigerians are very, very good is when you win the tournament. Prestigious tournament like this. My friend, the gifts were so much, too much, that we don't even recognize when somebody don't give you anymore. People were just calling you anyhow, just come, let me just dash you something. I remember at that time, this man is called, apart from other gifts that were given to us from Mike Adenuga, some other prominent people in Nigeria, this man, Emeka Ofo, I think he just personally said, I want to get this boy's number. He got a number, I got a call. He said, hi Onazi, how are you? I said, I'm fine, sir. Who is this, sir? He said, my name is Emeka Ofo. Come and see me in my office in Abuja. This is, I will give you a number of my PA. You come, just like that. The PA just called me. They book flight already for me, book hotel for me. I said, what kind of this one? I got to Abuja. They came to pick me up. I went to this my office. Jesus is Lord. Bros, as at that time, the man just put envelope. $30,000. I said, wait, what is this? I don't know the man from any. This is my first time of seeing himself. He even said I should not go anywhere. I should stay for 1 week. My hotel is paid. Everything I want to eat and whatsoever. If you have other of your teammates, call them. At that moment, he said I should call Mikel. I called Mikel. Oh, fortunately, Mikel has already gone to London. So he told Mikel, somebody will come and see him in London. Can you imagine? Say any of your teammates that is around, call them. At that time, I know some of my teammates, they have put up their phone because problems too much. They disturb people left, right, center. I tried so many people. None of them, their number went through. He said, anyone you get in touch with, please tell them to come. It's amazing. Some other people will call you, say, give me your account number. Send it. Oh my God, you cannot imagine. It was really, really, it's a turning point in my life, that period, that 2:30.
Yeah, running out of time. Do you look back 10 years now? Do you sometimes feel like maybe it was a dream? Like, did it happen to me?
No, of course it is. I think 1 week ago, I have on my iPad here, I have those games. Sometimes I just put them on just to encourage me and to let me know that you still have a lot of things to achieve in life because it's not over. You can do a lot. And all those things I watch, they encourage me. Too many of my games, when I'm alone like this, I put them. I just smile when I watch them. I smile. It was a difficult moment when nobody expected that you could do anything. You are giving that perfect result. So it's a kind of focus for me. Even sometimes before our games, in my league games, I put some of these games. It gives me a lot of motivation.
After you won the AFCON, you qualified for the World Cup. This last World Cup, we didn't qualify. Your last thoughts? What do we need to do for Nigerian football?
When we talk about what we need to do for Nigerian football, my brother, it's a whole lot of work for us to reach. And is not all about asking what can we do for Nigerian football. We need to act on whatever we say that we need to do in Nigerian football. It all boils down on the right people from what it was about the federation and try to put things into place, the right coaches, the right players to involve in the national team. The national team should be like a pride. I remember my teammate who was in Lazio, the first color they called him in the Poland national team, De Vrij. His name is De Vrij, defender. He plays for Inter. He cried so much. I was his roommate. He cried so much in the room when they sent the email to him. He said he never expected it to come this soon. After arriving to the national team, they gave him a wristwatch, Hublot wristwatch, which his name was written, customized, and the date was there. These are the kind of things that makes you realize the reason why you're in the national team. It's not about the Hublot wristwatch, how expensive it is, but these are the kind of things that you will remember and you will know why you are there. A whole lot of our players in the national team now, I will not call names, they are just there to just go and wear that green white. They don't know what it takes. You know, if you really want this thing, is something that is your dream, if you get there, you know how to handle it. All my years in the national team, it's like I'm doing it. I'm in the national team. I'm playing as if the next day I will not come again.
Wow.